Fentanyl's no good, man. It's the devil.
A case gone cold after 5 people died from fentanyl poisoning in Commerce City.
We have tracked down and followed up and investigated every possible lead.
The investigation now entering its 7th month and no closer to bringing closure.
It is killing our young people, and the problem is only getting worse.
If you violate the law, you're going to be held accountable.
Contact Denver 7 has been exposing complaints about a Colorado mover for years.
Just to know that they finally got him and that he can't do this to anyone else anytime soon.
Now records show our coverage helped lead to criminal charges.
We wouldn't have known to pursue this had it not been for Denver 7.
Good evening, and thank you for watching Denver 7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter.
And I'm Amy Wattis. It's been nearly 7 months since 5 people died in an apartment in Commerce City.
Investigators say they used cocaine laced with a deadly dose of fentanyl. The district attorney calling it one of the largest mass incidents of its kind in the U.S.
Denver 7 was there when the DA made the announcement that no arrests have been made.
Murder for profit, that's all I care about, is it money, you know?
Earlier this year, through tears, Debbie Garcia spoke about the drug dealers who sold the deadly fentanyl that took her daughter's life. Murderers, she called them. It was a horrific, shocking night. Karina Rodriguez was one of 5 people found dead in a Commerce City apartment, all of them taking cocaine, unaware it was laced with fentanyl.
We do not have the evidence to charge anyone, either at the state or federal level.
And now, close to 7 months later, these words from the Adams County District Attorney. The drug dealers will likely never face charges. DA Brian Mason says his team worked tirelessly to try and solve the tragic case. They even had extra help from Merrick Garland and the Department of Justice. But he says the team just doesn't have the evidence to bring charges. Mason says the evidence strongly shows the victims did not know they were taking drugs laced with fentanyl, enough to kill them almost instantly.
In order for us to charge someone with these deaths, we need to have an identifiable suspect who we can prove sold the drugs that were laced with the fentanyl that killed these 5 individuals. And we do not have that today.
But he says that doesn't mean it won't happen eventually, stressing it all comes down to more leads, new evidence, and changing technology to help solve crimes. Mason says it's not a simple solution, especially with the prevalence of fentanyl on our streets. He says the problem is only getting worse. That's because of synthetic opioids hitting the streets that are even more dangerous and powerful than fentanyl.
More and more people have become addicted unwittingly to fentanyl by taking drugs that were laced with fentanyl that they originally did not know of. And yet now they do know that they are addicted to fentanyl, and they are seeking it out. And more people are dying.
And more families are left in grief and bewildered. And like Karina Rodriguez's sister, hoping the dealers face the consequences, whether they are charged or not.
And I hope that someday, you know, whatever they believe in, whatever belief system they have, that they have to face that. They have to face the lives that they knowingly, you know, took away from families.
The DA says he personally spoke with all the families involved in this case and stresses this case is not closed. Now, we just received a statement from the family of Karina Rodriguez, one of the 5 people who died in the incident, urging anyone with information to contact the Commerce City Police Department. They say, quote, "We believe there is a culpable person or persons who need to be held to account. We remain hopeful for that day. Until then, we grieve our beloved daughter, sister, and mother who was robbed of her life." The DA says his team will continue to do all it can to get justice for the 5 victims who lost their lives.
The DA's announcement today does little to bring closure to families of the victims. Let's share another perspective for you. Dan Marquez lost his son Sam that night, as well as his daughter-in-law Karina and his son-in-law. Denver 7 spoke with Dan 7 months ago, and he shared the moments leading up to the tragic discovery.
My wife was really worried about it. Kept calling them and no answers. We all have cell phones. We all call their cell phones. No answer. My stepdaughter went in there and the door was open. She walked in. They're all laying on the floor, man.
However, that night would not end in complete ruin. Dan's grown daughter Cora somehow survived. So did a baby. Sam and Karina's newborn daughter Aria was found in a bedroom.
Baby wasn't crying at all. So she goes in the room and she must have heard Selena and baby started crying. So I think maybe there was an angel or somebody in there taking care of her.
The Marquez family is not alone in their pain. Drug overdose deaths in the U.S. remain at near record levels. Now let's dig into the numbers for you. Provisional data by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention shows more than 109,000 people died of a drug overdose between March of 2021 and March of 2022. That figure is a 44% jump from 2 years earlier when there were about 76,000 deaths reported in the 12-month period ending in March of 2020. Synthetic opioids, including fentanyl, made up more than 2/3 of those overdose deaths.
Addressing substance abuse and drug overdoses is something Denver Mayor Michael Hancock wants to focus on in his proposed budget for his final year in office. The budget includes $36.5 million to expand behavioral health services for youths and young adults. It also has money for a public health hotspot program. It's similar to the public safety hotspot program to concentrate efforts in areas seeing high rates of overdoses, homeless camps, and violence.
We also want to make investments in telehealth and other mobile integrated approaches to care and treatment delivery. We also want to bolster the city's substance misuse response.
The mayor's budget also focuses on housing stability, homelessness, and revitalizing downtown. It also includes money to increase public safety through hiring more police officers and offering more training. The city council will start having budget hearings a week from Friday and will vote on the budget in November.
You trust a moving company with everything you own, so what happens when that trust is broken?
Tonight, the owner of a Colorado moving company faces felony theft charges in Denver and Weld counties. He's accused of holding people's belongings hostage.
Consumer investigator Jacqueline Allen has been exposing this company for years.
We still get regular calls, and arrest affidavits show Contact Denver 7's coverage helped push this investigation forward. Let's first give you some context. In 2018 and 2019, we reported several times on AM Movers. This is a company owned by a man going by Adam or David Zoda. Well, in April of 2021, David Zoda turned up again when a Longmont cancer patient told us her family heirlooms were being held hostage by his new company, H&M Moving. Well, with Contact Denver 7's help, in May, she was able to pick up her belongings from a storage unit, and a criminal investigation was launched. In July, a family moving to Texas reached out saying their belongings had also been held hostage by H&M. Again, after our reporting, they also got the keys from Zoda to pick up their things from storage. Now, finally, this past November, records show Greeley police seized dozens of storage units rented by Zoda, returning those items to their owners. So that brings us to this week, with this mover finally being held accountable. How many of you feel like you were ripped off by H&M Moving?
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
For sure. Misery loves company.
This is just nuts.
But this group of people all hired David Zoda.
She's like, he's in jail, he's in jail.
And are feeling a little less miserable now.
Just to know that they finally got him and that he can't do this to anyone else.
An arrest affidavit obtained by Contact Denver 7 shows Hussein Namat Zoda, aka David Zoda, is accused of taking off with people's belongings, disappearing for weeks, even months, eventually demanding thousands of dollars for delivery or just pickup at a storage unit.
Who wants that stuff? Nobody but me. All my ornaments, all my Christmas stuff.
We were there last year when records state Greeley police seized 24 storage units rented by Zoda, returning items held hostage to his customers, including Ann and Mark Anderson.
We're there if we're needed to testify or anything.
After months of investigations, Weld County DA Michael Rourke is moving forward with charges of felony theft.
What kind of a message does it send that your office is charging the owner of a moving company?
Well, I hope what the message is that if you violate the law, you're going to be held accountable.
Most of these former customers tell me they've given up on getting their money back, but not on getting justice.
I just want them in jail, and I will be there. I will be out front jumping up and down and hooting and hollering.
Jacqueline Allen, Denver 7.
Well, Zoda did not respond to our requests for comment, but he has bonded out of jail and is due in court next month. The Denver DA also announced felony theft charges against Zoda today, and they're asking any other victims to contact their economic crimes unit.
A small plane crashed into a pond in Broomfield off Northwest Parkway this afternoon. The two people on board amazingly have no injuries. Both were able to get out of the plane once it landed on the water on their own. Investigators are looking into what actually caused the crash.
Well, a burglary suspect is arrested in Boulder, and police believe this suspect was a busy burglar. Police say this man, 30-year-old Roman Owens, targeted several apartment complexes in the span of 1 week. They say he would go into apartment buildings trying to open a door until he found one unlocked. He's accused of taking things like cash, jewelry, or AirPods. If you believe you were a victim, call Boulder police. Officers are also reminding people to keep their doors locked.
Still some scattered showers and storms. Coming up, I'll let you know what to expect for the weekend.
And a mother of 3 forced to find a new home.
I don't have any more tears left to cry.
Quickly running out of options. We show you how you can make a difference.
Where we're going, where are we going to be, where are we going to stay?